I have Caitlin here with me too, by the way, who is my amazing culinary assistant, and she is the person who organizes all of this great stuff. So welcome to House of Haas Meal Planning. For all of you who are going to watch it later too, I'm so excited to share this class with you. And this is the second time I've offered meal planning. I'm doing it different and doing it live tonight instead of pre-recording all of it because I thought it would give us a chance to kind of interact more naturally around some of the aspects of it. And I just noticed too that when I sit down to meal plan myself, I'm not breaking it up so much, right? Like there's this moment in the week where I usually decide what I'm going to cook, and I make my grocery list and I look at my budget and figure out what I still need to buy versus what I already have in my house, right? And then I go do it. So that's the part. Oh, we have another person. That's the part I'm really excited to walk through with you all tonight. And like I said, for any of you who are here doing this live, please don't hesitate to ask questions. That's absolutely what I'm here for. And I think that the more questions you ask and the more comfortable you become with all of this, you'll start doing it more, right? And then you realize that once you understand what things cost and how easy it is to make some of these recipes in advance or right when you get home from the store, you'll really start feeling more confident in your cooking. So let's see who else is on here. Can I click on it and see? Oh, hi, Lori and Monica. We've got this little private class going here tonight. So we're saying, please, all three of you who've hopped on, do not feel pressured to stay if you have to be somewhere. I think it's actually super fun. There are just a few of us. But also just ask any question you've ever wanted to ask as we get started. Does that sound good? Okay. So here's what we've got. I printed my stuff out. You guys do not have to do this with me tonight. You can just watch me if you want, because everyone's will probably be a little bit different, right? So I have my pretty little meal planning calendar that Caitlin made me. I left my shopping list blank. I cheated and I already went to the store and I made my shopping list. I have that go-to ingredient list, just if you're curious what I use the most. And then the other thing that I thought was so interesting is I went and I printed out the prices, the price sheet that Caitlin made. And I was comparing it to some of the things I bought today. And already one or two of them have gone up in price. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. So these are all the things I'm going to be using as my tools. And then I printed out the recipes as well, because I am going to go ahead and make myself an actual calendar with all of this, because I think it's the best way to teach you all how I would do it in real life. So what I want to do is pretend like today's a Sunday and I'm going to plan my week, right? And I'm going to show you how I put all of these recipes into my week. Sound good? Any questions so far? Because there is an actual method to my madness of like which nights I decide to cook what. So here we go. Caitlin, by the way, too, I said to Caitlin, she doesn't really have to stick around unless there are so many questions that we just can't handle them. And I don't think that's the case. And so you're welcome to go whenever you need. I don't think, unless you want to check hello at Amanda Haas Cooks one last time and make sure everybody's in who needs to be.
Yeah, I think we're good.
We're good. You can yell at my son as you're leaving.
Okay. Absolutely.
Thank you. You're amazing. She's been testing so many recipes for my cookbook. It's crazy. So here is the first recipe. This is chicken parm with fresh mozzarella. And it's funny, I'm leading with two recipes that have cheese. But if you're not a cheese person or if you're dairy free, there are so many options now. So I was actually kind of doing my research on all of those ingredients today that are cheese-free. And there are like cheese-free meltable cheddar and things like that. I just thought I'd stick with what I know this week because I really wanted to do the pricing for you all and be accurate. So we've got the chicken parm with fresh mozzarella, which is something I end up doing on a weeknight, but it could help you. It's the kind of thing where even if you measure the things out in the morning, say before you start your workday, it's a nice thing to kind of just have all of your ingredients ready to go. So when you get home, they're easy to do because you have to pound some chicken and you have to just dunk it in a little bit of egg and bread, right? So I'll talk about when I would do those things in the week. This cheesy taco casserole is so easy to do. It just takes a little while to cook on the stove, but you cook it all in one pan. Bye, Caitlin. Thank you. You cook it all in one pan, and it is like the most delicious thing. I posted a picture of it the other night on Instagram, and people were like, "What is that?" It's old school comfort food, and you can do a million things to make it healthier. Like if you don't want to do ground beef, you could certainly use turkey. You could use, if you like beef, or if you want to do a beef pork combo, you can do buffalo, you can do whatever you'd like. And like I said, you can alter the cheese or any dairy if you want it. And then if you serve it with corn chips for dipping, we went Fritos on Tuesday night after a friend reached out to me and said, I can't believe you would ever recommend anything but Fritos for this. And it just totally made me giggle. I hadn't made it in so long. And so this is a good one to have around. I ended up making this recipe larger. I put 1.5 pounds of ground beef in it because I wanted it to be something where we have leftovers. And so I made it on I made it on Friday night, and we had a ton of leftovers on Saturday. And Charlie just kept helping himself all weekend, and so did I. So it was great. Then we have fusilli with fresh pesto, but this is actually really just about the pesto because we're going to use the pesto in another recipe as well. And it's just like chimichurri. It's a really nice sauce to have around because you can use it in a million different applications. It's great for breakfasts, like on scrambled eggs or on any kind of like veggie stir fry you do. It's great if you just grill something and you want to add pesto to add flavor to it and keep things really simple. It's great with pasta, obviously, but the star of this recipe is just the pesto itself. So we just tested this for my book. It's delicious. And then we're doing some vegetarian stuff. So I'm known, for cauliflower with Haas sauce, which is a chimichurri sauce. Chimichurri, again, continues to be one of my absolute favorite things to make for the week because it lasts for up to 2 weeks in your fridge, actually. It's a green sauce that has so much flavor. It makes everything taste better. So I love the idea of showing you that you can take cauliflower, which I think some people still think is like boring or not so great, and make it amazing. But I normally chop the cauliflower up and I just roast the florets because that's the fastest way to do it. But I just wanted to show you how to roast it whole if you feel like it, because it's such a showstopper that it's kind of worth showing you, So that's the whole roasted cauliflower with chimichurri. And then we have creamy tomato with Parmesan crisps. Guys, delicious. We just tested this as well. I loved it. You have an option, though. If you decide you want to make it this week, you don't have to do white wine in it. If you don't feel like, if you're buying wine just to cook with, don't worry about it. You can use lemon juice. So I'm going to test it on Thursday night with lemon juice for you all. It's absolutely delicious with the wine, but you don't have to. Just so if you're trying to save money and you're like, that's silly, I don't drink white wine, don't worry about it. We're going to fix it with lemon juice as well. And so, yeah, I add chopped mint to that, which is kind of bright and different, unexpected over basil, let's say, or chives, but I love it. If you don't like mint, don't sweat it. You can certainly go get basil or chives or any other herb that you like with tomatoes, okay? There are no rules. And then I have this everyday salad that I've been working on. Did we give you the vinaigrette recipe? I think we forgot to give you the vinaigrette recipe. I'll teach you guys how to make that on Thursday night, and I'll give you the ingredients tonight, okay? Because it's just olive oil, apple cider vinegar. You can use olive oil or avocado oil. Apple cider vinegar. I use a little bit of shallot in there, salt, pepper, Dijon mustard, and then you can use a squeeze of honey if you want to sweeten it at all. So it's very simple. But other things we're going to do in class that night on Thursday, I'm going to show you. I hard boil eggs to have around during the week. A lot of times I have chicken on hand to make a salad with, which I did that today. I made chicken stock and I have shredded chicken. In fact, this is what I'm going to make myself for dinner after class. So this is a great go-to. I just wanted it to be the kind of salad that you could literally mix and match and put things in every day and know that it's good for you and absolutely delicious as well. So there's that one. And then the green eggs and ham breakfast muffins, which I've just been dying to call something that. So it's not ham, it's bacon. But you get it. Close, right? So you make the little egg bites in the muffin cups. So they're like a little bit bigger than what you get at like Starbucks, those egg bites, right? So we use like a standard 12-cup muffin tin. And you put some crumbled bacon at the bottom of each one if you want to use bacon. You certainly don't have to. And then you whisk eggs with a little bit of cream. And then we have some cheese in there. Again, if you want to use dairy-free, absolutely you can. Lots of basil. And then we use the pesto to drizzle over the top. Delish. And the best part is you eat these all week. You can cool them, put them in a Ziploc in your refrigerator, and then pick them up and microwave them for like 30 seconds when you want to eat them, okay? So this is a really fun breakfast menu that I'm very excited to share with you. Because I happen to talk quickly, I would like to ask people if they have any questions so far. It's a lot of information, I think, to take in when you're trying to plan an entire week. And I take it for granted sometimes that I've been doing this for so long that I have like a reasoning in my head of why I'm going to put something somewhere on the calendar, right? It's so bad that like you four people besides myself. I'm not trying to put any of you on the spot. Diana, hi, I heard you're doing okay. I'm so happy to see you're here. Don't type, but I'm happy to see that you're tuning in. I spoke to Craig the other day. So nice to have you here. Okay. So far following. Monica, thank you. Okay, terrific. So here's what I'd like to do next with all of you. I'm going to take my meal planning calendar, and like I said, I've cheated only in that I already went to the store because I'm so excited to share my receipt with you of what I really spent. It was amazing. It was not expensive. And so I went and I shopped for the ingredients. But right now what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you how I would build my week if I was doing this for real and not cooking it for us to try all of it on Thursday, right? And then from here, after I decide what I want to make for the week, I'm going to go to making my shopping list. And then from there, what's going to happen, you'll see the domino effect. Then it's going to lead into how I make my budget. And the way we get to circle back is since I already shopped for all of these things, I know what I actually spent. So I can't wait to share that with you, okay? So this is like a puzzle. And I don't have, I might have a pencil sharpener. Let's see if I can find a pencil sharpener in 30 seconds or less. Okay, 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Oh, wait, it would be in here. Let's see. This is my junk drawer that you guys don't want to see. I was in here organizing it this weekend, and I know I saw a pencil sharpener in some strange place. It's just not there. So I'll try to use this one. And if I can't erase, I'll just cross things out. But I like to use a pencil when I do this because I usually end up changing some things, right? So if I'm going to the store on a Sunday and I know my week's schedule, right now in my house, it's just myself and my son, Charlie. Charlie, are you awake? Okay, just wanted to make sure. He's going to basketball practice, but I think he's grown. He just keeps falling asleep. And so Charlie eats a ton of food right now because he plays basketball, he's super active, and he's growing like a weed. And so I laugh because I cook more for it's more like 3 to 4 people, right? Type with one hand. So I'm making about the same amount I used to make when we were a family of 4 around here, which is funny. But it's something to keep in mind. And other things for me to keep in mind is I don't want to cook every night, right? I'm cooking for work right now. I'm doing all this recipe testing. So I want to either have things that will carry over to another night, or I want to be able to make the pesto on Sunday. And then on a weeknight be like, oh, great, we've got pesto. So I am pretty smart about where I try to put things in, right? So the other thing is I just don't like to cook on Friday nights. It's my night where I just kind of collapse. And so if I'm ever going to do takeout or go out or just do something weird, like make popcorn, it would be Friday night. So, and Saturdays I usually end up cooking, and I usually end up cooking for work. So I'm going to make a note of that. Snacks, we'll talk about snacks. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with what would need to be made at the beginning of the week. Because let's say if it were an ingredient that doesn't last very long, right? So if I bought fish on a Sunday and I didn't freeze it, I would make it Monday, or I would make it that Sunday night for dinner. Any seafood, of course, the same thing. But I'm going to approach my week more like, okay, the cheesy taco casserole. I think we're calling it Mexican skillet casserole in the book. It's a old recipe from my friend Tori. And I told her, I'm like, I can't help it. I have to put it in the book again. And I keep tweaking it a little bit, but I just love it so much. So I think I'm going to do this at the beginning of the week because it lasts. And then we have some, Charlie's really good about like heating things up and taking it for lunch. And this is so delicious. I would eat it for lunch. I'm usually not a huge fan of leftovers, but I'm going to say on Monday night, I'm going to do taco casserole. That's actually a super fun thing, I think, too, because there's Monday Night Football. I don't love to watch. I'm trying to make an effort to hang out with my son. But we usually end up, if we're going to eat on the sofa one night of the week, it's that night, right? Or if we're watching a movie together or something. So it's a relaxed, easy thing to do. So I've got that down. Then I look and I'm like, oh, do I want to make chicken the next night? It's got kind of some of the same ingredients. So it's tomato sauce base. It's got cheese as well. Like I said, if you're not into cheese, you can certainly do this with dairy-free alternatives. Or you can, this is Parmesan chicken with fresh mozzarella. But you get the gist. I can teach you how to do this where it's just more like a tomato basil sauce on your chicken. And you don't have to cheese it up. But I think I would probably want to do that on Wednesday night for dinner. I wrote Wednesday instead of writing chicken farm. Okay. So when I'm looking at these, I'm looking first at like what night I want to eat it, not when I'm going to make it physically, because that's a whole other thing. Some of these things I'll end up making in advance, which is awesome. I went heavy on the tomatoes. I have the creamy tomato soup. If you didn't want to do tomato soup, I have other soups that you could switch out to. I have a butternut squash soup that's absolutely delicious. I have the pesto. So we've got chicken parm, taco casserole. I kind of like nights then you put in like a vegetarian dish, right? If you've done a lot of meat. So I'm going to say, let's do fusilli with pesto on that Tuesday. So I have taco casserole, then fusilli with pesto, chicken parm. Chicken parm is one of those that tastes absolutely delicious the next day too. So I could see like Charlie taking these into his lunches. This is how I talk to myself. So like, I know I'm backwards. I used to write backwards when I was little for fun. I could do it. But like, if we're having it for dinner here, he might want to put it in his lunch that next day, right? Oh, that's such a good idea, Lori. You're really smart like that. Very, very smart tip to print off 2 calendars. Okay, so let's see. We've got the pesto, the chicken parm, taco casserole. You know what? The creamy tomato soup would be great to make for Thursday night because that's one that like can go a million different directions. It's great with, you can make grilled cheese to go on the side. You could do a little toast crisp. We make Parmesan crisps to go with it. So you just melt Parmesan cheese in little discs on, you just put it in little heaping tablespoonfuls on a sheet pan and it melts down and then you get like crispy crackers with it. They're delicious. We've got that. We've got the fusilli, whole roasted cauliflower, and then we have the everyday Rachel salad, and then we have the egg bites. And so some of these are going to carry into multiple days, right? So let's think about it. The whole roasted cauliflower, I'd probably do. See here, I want to change my mind already, but this is a really good thing for us to look at. I'm going to move the taco casserole. I'm counting Sunday night as like my first night of the week to cook. And color coded too. Such a geek. Oh, I love it. You're a good teacher, I'm sure, Lori. I'm going to add the taco casserole to Sunday night for dinner because then we'll have it to enjoy other times. And then I'm going to do the cauliflower with chimichurri on Monday night. If you would never make cauliflower as your entree, I totally get it. But this is good for you to calendar out and be like, okay, if I wanted to make that, great. But what am I going to make with it? And then I need to find a place for the salad and the green eggs and ham breakfast muffins. So as I look at this, I'm probably going to make the breakfast muffins ahead of time so I can serve them on weekdays. I'm just going to call them breakfast muffins. And you guys get the gist. Like maybe people in your house don't care if you eat them every day. Maybe they do. If I make something like that, I would do it for multiple days, right? So it makes 12. And if it's just me, I would probably eat those at least 3 times without being bored by them because they're so delicious. And so if that's not for you, I totally get it. But you just know that they'll last like 4 or 5 days in the fridge. So you could make them one day and then have them throughout the week. So if one day, say you want to do a smoothie, which I'm going to be doing, and then you want to do eggs a different way, like I'll probably end up doing, and we'll talk about this with leftover ingredients, eggs, pesto, with leftover pesto, sweet potatoes. I chop things up and throw them in an oven or in a pan and roast them off, and I use those for breakfast, and I love them. Any other questions? We're good so far? Okay. So I have my taco casserole, my cauliflower with chimichurri, my fusilli with pesto, chicken parm, creamy tomato soup, breakfast muffins, and then it's the salad that everybody wants to eat every day, hopefully. No, I don't eat salad for lunch every day. But yes, I liked this salad enough that I bought a ton of ingredients for it, and I made it multiple times during one week. And my point is to make some of the ingredients ahead during the week, so you've always got it to go to if you're in a pinch, right? So I made the vinaigrette at the beginning of the week, and then I made hard-boiled eggs, which were easy. And I also made chicken stock, so I have shredded chicken. If you guys want to add that to your to-do list this week, or if you like to make homemade chicken stock or veggie stock, you can. It's just nice to have for other things. But I did use the shredded chicken in this salad. So I'm going to plan it more like, got the taco casserole. I'm like, oh, I'd probably eat that. I'm going to say like salad. I could do this easily 3 times in 1 week and not be tired of it, right? So I just want to show you guys what I've done so far, because you can see how quickly the spots start to add up. So the part that becomes personal for all of you is, how do you feel about eating the same meal twice? So if you don't like that, then you do not want to plan for any of these things to carry over. And you might also want to plan to make less of something. So like I mentioned, the taco casserole has serves like 6 to 8. I mean, it's a lot of food. Let's see what I said. I said it served 6 to 8. The chicken parm is more like 4 to 6. And so if you want to try it, but you don't want to have that many leftovers, you can certainly just reduce the meat a lot in that, and it'll still be delicious, but you'll have less to choose from, right? You could even take it down to like a half a pound instead of 1.5 pounds. So far, I like my week because I have identified 2 things that Charlie could heat up and take to school with him, which are the taco casserole and chicken parm to eat for lunch. We've got an easy salad to make whenever we need to add greens. And this is where I kind of go to the advanced meal planning, where I'm like, okay, I know in my head that I eat breakfast every day, right? A lot of times I'll do like a 10 o'clock breakfast kind of brunch thing, because I know I'm going to be cooking in the afternoon and I won't need like a full meal. But I know I'd be happy with those egg muffins for 3 days of the week. And then I fill in like smoothie. I'm going to make stuff up. Roasted veggie. I said eggs, pesto, sweet potato. So then we're going to call this smoothie. We're going to call Saturday. What are we going to do on Saturday? Charlie has practice on Saturday mornings. And so then we don't really need a breakfast together. He eats breakfast. I'm going to put something like bagels, cream cheese, veg. This weekend, that's what we did. I bought some smoked salmon for myself, and I put it on gluten-free bread, and he made bagels and cream cheese for himself. So I had like gluten-free bread, cream cheese, smoked salmon, red onion. It was so delicious. And then for snacks, I don't need snacks this week because I'm cooking so much for work, right? But if you did, some of my favorite ones are the curry spice nut mix on my website. I have like a trail mix you can make on there. Oh, good, you're awake. I have a bunch of things. So if you need to put snacks in, or if you just have packaged snacks that you like, there's no shame in that by any means. A lot of people like protein bars. I'm not a big protein bar person myself. My kids are. They're just not for me. I don't digest them very well. I'm looking for them, but I just got these pineapple packs. I have to show them to you. Are you good, Charlie, before practice? There's lemon bars and cake to take if you want. They're on the table back there. I'm taking all that. You can, or just share it after practice. Here's the pineapple stuff. I just have to show you this because I'm so proud of my friend's husband. I can't even remember. They're based in Austin, but he launched these and they've been working on them for so long. They're pineapple, fresh pineapple. They call it pineapple sauce, but it's just crushed pineapple. They only have 50 calories. My son informed me that's not enough when you're trying to build muscle mass, but for little people it would be enough. And for me, it's enough. And it's 80% of the vitamin C you need for the day. So that's why I like it. So I plan some of these things into my list. So let's just pretend I'm going to go buy a 12-pack of these crushed pineapple for my snacks. I write it in my notes section here. Sound good? And then I also write down any drinks I want. I'm always getting sparkling waters. If you want wine, beer, cocktail things, if you know you're going to entertain and you need to pick up some extra things, like if you are having people over one night and you're going to need extra of something, or if you do anything differently when you entertain than when you eat on your own, you can make a note of that, right? I'm not entertaining next week, so I don't need anything like that. The snacks, like I said, I'm cooking for work, so I don't need any more of that. But I would probably put typically nuts, so I could do something with nuts. Berries. I love berries for snacks, and I love to put them on yogurt for breakfast or just eat them out of my hand for breakfast. Oh, orange pecan granola. Hooray, hooray, that's fantastic. So for those of you who are here right now, there is no pressure to fill yours out right now. But if you've taken a look at the recipes and you want to take a stab at it, I spilled water on myself. Excuse the mess. You are welcome to. You good to go? Do you need a snack? Okay, it's all sweet. I made literally the best lemon bars of my life today. They'll be in the cookbook, and I'm going to use them for a No Kid Hungry event. Or I'm going to share the recipe, cook the recipe online here, so you'll have access to it sooner than later. I'm so excited. So if any of you want to take a look at your calendar right now and take a few minutes to fill it in, go for it. I'm just going to sit here and stare at you all, and you can ask me any questions you'd like. I won't kill too much time. But let me give you all like 5 minutes at least. So if any of you are trying to keep up, I don't want us to feel rushed. I really like Waterloo. Charlie, if you take the cake, you might want to take a knife just to cut it. Just let them know it's a little dry. It's probably better with coffee or a drink. See, while I recipe test, people around here get the benefits. No questions? Diana, don't type with one hand, by the way. That must be frustrating. Hopefully your good hand is free, or is it your good hand that you can't use right now? Either way, it kind of stinks. No, I gotta try the watermelon Waterloo with pieces of watermelon in it. What you looking for? Oh, here, you can take a real one. There you go, honey. Oops. Enjoy. Bye, honey. Have a good practice. I have to try that. You guys, Lori sent me a care package yesterday. I just have to brag about her. She's so sweet because I have to have some surgery next week. And I'm so excited. She sent me the book we've been talking about, how it's written from the point of view of Darcy in Pride and Prejudice. So from the male point of view, a woman authored the book, and she's got 2 other based on Jane Austen. Oh, I'm sorry, Diana. Based on Jane Austen novels. But I love Jane Austen so much that I'm very excited to read it. And what a great idea for a book, right? So I'm very excited for that. She also gave me a Mouse Rat t-shirt, which is the name of the band on Parks and Rec. My son wants to steal it from me because he's obsessed with Parks and Rec. But the joke is, since I had a mouse in my house and a rat in my house, oh, they're gone now. We have literally, if one gets in, knock on wood, I don't know how they got here. This poor guy spent like 2.5, 3 hours down underneath my house we have plugged up everything. It's crazy. Okay, no questions on the menu planning. We can say if people are watching at home, no, I should have told them at the beginning to fast forward like 3 minutes, right? Okay, so here's where I think it gets fun. Let's see what Monica's question is. You struggle with lunch, okay. Okay, great. So Monica, do you work outside of the house or are you at home? That actually predicts a lot about what I eat, because if I don't have to pack it up, I change what I eat. These classes, see this is what happens when you start to lose your sight, right? I can see far away. These are better for reading, but I have to just stay there. Monday through Thursday, you're in an office. Okay. So here is what I found. Actually, my friend just recommended a container for the first time that keeps food hot, and she's tried everything. And I bought it for my son, and he was like, she's right. So having a container, a thermos that's going to keep hot food hot, I think is great. I am super happy doing things that I had for dinner that I liked, right? Like I said, I just don't like it when you have leftovers that taste old and boring. And so there are usually at least 2 things I make during the week that transport well. And so like for this week, I would do the taco casserole, I would do the chicken parm or creamy tomato soup, any of those in a thermos where you heat them up first, right? And then you take them with you. So I love hot food. It's really strange. I don't really eat a lot of cold food for breakfast. So I make smoothies and juices and things. I'll drink a juice now that I think about it from a juicer that's like room temp, but I don't like cold food in the morning. And so I just like hot food kind of all times a day. So yes, I would recommend, Monica, picking a recipe that you like a lot. That you can reheat in the morning and then toss it in a thermos and take it with you. So think of things that you would eat twice. So anything, if I'm like stir frying it or doing it on a sheet pan where it's got lots of components, most of those things heat up well. Like if I think I have a Moroccan chicken on my website. I know it's on Traeger's site, and it has these roasted veggies and the chicken juices drip down onto it to roast it. You could just heat up a piece of that with the veggies and put it in a container and go. But yeah, I really, really like hot food. And usually on all of my menus, all of my all over my website, go to the recipes that sound best to you. And then either double them or, depending on how many people you're cooking for, just put a little bit aside for yourself the night before, right? So you're welcome. Okay, cool. So I have all of my recipes kind of loaded into my pretend menu for the week. But like I mentioned, if you joined us late, I did shop for all of these recipes today. And I'm so proud with what I spent. It was really amazing. Yeah. I'll just tell you right now because I can't stand it. I spent $137 at Whole Foods for 7 meals. So less than $20 a meal. And I bought olive oil. I bought a lot of like the bulk items, and I bought all of the meats I needed. I was blown away because I shopped for this class and then I shopped for recipe testing. I had a ton of groceries. So I spent another $70 after that on recipe testing, but I was just so delighted. So if you think about that, that's $5 a portion or less. Some of these things serve 6 to 8 people, right? So it's great bargain. And I'll go through the ingredients with you. Like I said, I shopped at Whole Foods. I wasn't shopping at like a place with, not very exciting ingredients. And I didn't even buy that much generic because they were out of some of my things that are less expensive. So I had to pay more for a few things. I even bought Kerrygold butter. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my shopping list right now, and I'm going to do a little bit of a pretend thing. But the most important thing for you all, and you'll just get better at this because the more you do it, the easier it becomes, right? Like I have this list of the ingredients I use the most. So if you like to cook my recipes, and this will be so great, I'm going to do my homework. Let's see how many of these are in my cookbook a lot. I should mark the things I use the most because now that I'm cooking my own food, I'm like, wow, I use a lot of fennel seed. I really like fennel seed. I use a ton of green onions, a ton of herbs. I use a lot of Dijon mustard. I use a lot of greens, broccoli and cabbage, lettuces, all of it. I use tons of lemons and limes. I use a lot of crushed and diced tomatoes. I use a lot of oils, avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, less so, but I still use it. I use a ton of onions, maple syrup, honey to sweeten. I use a ton of chicken stock to the point where developing recipes in this book, I'm going to do a thing on the benefits of learning how to make homemade stock. And I don't want to assume everybody likes chicken stock, but I have another batch on my cooktop right now that I made today. You guys, it just improves the flavor of everything. And so I'm going to do this thing on why it's worth learning how to do, because it's going to change your life in terms of flavor and how good things can be for you. Like I can make a creamy chicken pasta without cream and just use good chicken stock and caramelized onions, and it gets like saucy and delicious, and I love it. So yeah. So I love this list of go-to ingredients, but then also the list that I really appreciate that Lori, I'll do the math on this with you in just a second. I love this list that Caitlin put together with what things cost. And she did this at my local Whole Foods. She looked up all the prices for everything we pay at Whole Foods. And the one that I noticed that went up today was their olive oil. I think it's up like $1. It was $9.49 for the extra virgin, and now I think it's like $10.99. It might have gone up $1.50. Everything else is pretty much still in line. So this little piece of paper, whether you want to frame it, laminate it, it is the best thing to reference when you're like, how much is that going to cost me? Because chances are it's this amount or less. If you're shopping somewhere where they offer discounts, the thing I think is interesting is everybody thinks it's more expensive to shop at Whole Foods than, say, a Safeway or Kroger's or anything like that. It's more expensive when you're buying prepared foods, but their ingredients are not more expensive. If I shopped my ingredient list at Safeway, I would come up with the same amount, if not a little bit more, because there are a couple things that I insist on buying organic, and they're not cheaper. So it's crazy. When I'm shopping for ingredients, that's why I was so pleasantly surprised today at Whole Foods, and it's why I continue to shop at the stores I really enjoy, because it's just less expensive to cook. Okay, Lori, we're going to talk about how much it costs to make your own stock. Here's the reason why I did it today. Chicken, like what's it called? Free range, air chilled, which is a thing they do here for Mary's Chicken, which is really a great brand of chicken. They are here in Sonoma County, I want to say. Their chicken was on sale for $2.09 a pound for air chilled chicken. That is like, it's normally like $3.99, $3.29 at the cheapest. So I got a huge chicken for a little over $10. So I made, I haven't strained it yet. I think this is a 7-quart pot. So I've made 28 cups probably. I probably made 20 to 24 cups of chicken stock. So my answer is going to be, let's see what chicken stock costs on here, $3.69, and that's for 4 cups. So 4 And if I did 20 of that, I would do 3 cents. It's going to be probably, if you get chicken at this price, $2 to $3 a pound, it's going to be less expensive to make it yourself. The only other things I add to stock is I'll add an onion, I'll add a carrot or two, some garlic, if I have a little piece of ginger, right? So I'm adding like little extras of things, little leftover bits. So considering this was, let's look at the real price of the chicken. 10, nope, that was the olive oil. Oh, it's $10.99. Yep. Let's see. $9.98. Nope, those were the eggs for 2. I bought expensive eggs too. Oh yeah, so my chicken normally it's $3.49 a pound. It was $2.29 a pound, and then if you're a Prime member, it was $2.09 a pound. So what a deal! I paid $10. No, I paid $9. 15 minus 6 is 9, and then I paid like $9.30 for a 4.48 pound chicken. That is a total deal. So Lori, in this case, my chicken stock is less expensive by almost half, I think, if I go and once I figure out the yield of that. Isn't that crazy? But it takes time. But it's one of those things that when I get home from the store, it's the first thing I do. I take the chicken out and I buy it instead of buying it packaged, like sometimes they have them in the refrigerator section and they're the same company. It's Mary's, and they're just packaged up so you can grab it and go. I actually like getting it from the butcher if it's the same price, because then I don't have to get it out of the liquid in the plastic. That's the part that's kind of gross. So they're not sitting in that stuff, right? So today I just went to the butcher, got it from him, came home, literally put it directly in the pot. I didn't put the giblets in and ran cold water over it, threw in a little garlic and some onion and got going with it. So it's a really easy thing to do once you get used to it. And then after 45 minutes, you take the chicken out and you let it cool. And then you just take the chicken off the bone. You can put the bones back in if you want to make your stock more flavorful and let it go like another hour. But it's like the best deal ever. So those are the things that I was shopping for. I'm going to just kind of make a list right now. And I'm going to look at these recipes. And what I'm going to talk you through are the things that I've gotten really used to knowing whether I look in my pantry or not what I have, right? So when I go to make my list, I take my recipes. I'm such a visual learner, and I just like tangible things, tactile things, that I tend to print out my recipes. But it's really hard for me to do multiple things on my phone, like to look at a recipe and then make the list on my phone. My brain just doesn't work that way. So I go through this and I see, okay, let's just play this game for fun. I'm going to say I need 2 tablespoons of olive oil or avocado oil. And then it's going to say I need onions. So I'm going to say onions, and these are yellow. And I just give 2 little hash marks next to it. So this is how I keep track of what I'm going to need. Like I do little measurements next to each one. So I'm up to 2 yellow onions, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I know that that's for a tablespoon. I know I've got rice. I need a 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes. I'm going to put those here. I write diced Toms, 14-ounce, because there's 28-ounce too. Pinto beans, drained and rinsed. They're just black or pinto beans. Cheese. Cheese is one thing, you guys, I've really tried to get back to buying it in a block and grating it, even though it takes more time, because it just doesn't taste as good when you buy it already grated. It's got like coating on it that preserves it. Like, have you ever bought mozzarella and it stays fresh in your fridge, like the shredded kind, for like weeks and weeks on end? Versus if you buy a block of it, it's not going to stay looking that pretty. So I think cheese tastes better when you grate it yourself, because it doesn't have like caking agent stuff on it. So that's me. I bought a block today. I go through the next recipe. I see I need AP flour. Again, I'm just messing around because I already did this, but I'm going to show you my favorite trick. Here I need Parmesan cheese. Grated Parm. How much do I need? 1.5 cup. So I'm going to write on here 1/2 cup. I need 24 ounces of marinara or tomato basil sauce, but I don't need more crushed tomatoes. Marinara. Okay, right? And then I've got my chicken breasts. And then, look, I need more olive oil. I'm on to the next recipe. Powdery. Exactly, Lori. So now I'm up to 5 tablespoons of olive oil. So I literally just do like a little hash mark system. You guys see that, right? Next to the olive oil up here. I do the same thing with onions. I need another 1 cup diced yellow onion. So now I'm probably gonna need a 3rd onion. Garlic, need more garlic. Garlic, I've been calling for a ton of as well. Sorry if you don't like it. You can always leave it out. I need fennel seeds. Big surprise there. But it only calls for a teaspoon there, right? Ooh, another can of crushed tomatoes for my soup, 28 ounces. Okay, and so far I have a tomato basil or marinara sauce, a small container of diced tomatoes, and now I need 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. They're all different. I need herbs. So I would keep score on the herbs as well, you know. I need more Parmesan because of the Parmesan crisps. So grated Parm, a 1/2 cup. Now I need another cup. Black pepper I've got. Pasta, pesto. I need another 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan. You guys can see that I kind of do this on purpose, right? Like I like to group recipes together that use some of the same ingredients so you save money. And then the ingredients for the pesto, 1/3 of a cup. This is the week for grated Parmesan. Okay, more garlic. We're up to like 5 cloves of garlic, which basically is like a bunch, you know, it's like 1/2 of a bunch. More olive oil. So now I need a 1/2 cup plus 5 tablespoons. What is the difference between crushed and strained tomatoes? Okay, so crushed, diced, and strained. Diced, you will find, I should just open them up for you because I have them all here, right? Diced, they come in juice, in tomato juice, but they have like chunks, right? So I like to use diced in soups. I sometimes like them in sauces, but they're not gonna break down, right? Crushed is when it's completely crushed. It might be a little lumpy, but there are no bigger pieces of tomato in it. So it's great for tomato sauces. It's great for pizza sauce. It's great for any sauce where you don't want it to have a lot of texture, right? So for marinara, tomato basil, starting with crushed tomatoes is awesome. Strained tomatoes can be whole tomatoes. A lot of times they're aroma tomatoes like San Marzanos. And they usually do not have their skin on them, but they're left whole in the can. I don't really buy strained tomatoes. I buy crushed and diced. I have a lot of old school Italian recipes that call for whole tomatoes and you crush them with your hands, which is super fun. I'm just usually looking to cut corners. So I focus more on the quality of the ingredients. And I love, I'll show you the brands I like. And I really like organic. And I buy the generic at Whole Foods now, and I love them. So I hope that helps, Lori. You'll still see me call for crushed and just think of things being crushed like granite versus diced chunks. Okay, so for the pesto, we're good to go on that. I got extra Parmesan. And then for the salad, I need eggs. Let's see if there are any other things. Oh, more green onions. I need green onions all the time. Vinaigrette, I need to check my olive oil, and I need to check for apple cider vinegar. I need greens. I've got the chicken from the chicken stock. I've got the eggs on my list. Nothing else is repetitive. I didn't have to buy salt this week because I buy those big, big things of kosher salt, but I, always make sure I'm good on that. Okay, so now you get to the cauliflower. I've got more olive oil I need, more seasonings that I've got. I know that I've got those on hand. I need my chimichurri. And that's going to call for Dijon, parsley, cilantro, more olive oil, 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. So at this point, I'm like, wait a second. I need a 1/2 cup here. I need 5 tablespoons there. I need 3/4 of a cup of olive oil here. you start to realize maybe I need a bottle, right? Sounds like wine. Maybe I need a bottle. Lime juice, more Dijon, 3 cloves of garlic. I need like 8 cloves now. I'm up to 1 head of garlic. I need some capers. I need a teaspoon of honey. I know I've got honey. I'm looking at any others. I need some salted almonds. Those are the times too, if you already have nuts on hand, let's say, and you're like, well, I've got walnuts. Do you like walnuts? Would you like those in here? Then you can use walnuts, right? If you're like, no, I want to follow the recipe exactly, then you can get almonds. But I really recommend buying those in bulk now that bulk is back. Bulk is back. But, for so long during the pandemic, they didn't have things available in bulk. But now you can buy, just the amount you need of something in bulk, and it saves you a ton of money. So hooray for that. Especially when it comes to nuts, if you're not going to use them all and they go bad, like pine nuts, they're $14 a bag right now. I buy those in bulk whenever I can because I never end up buying that much. I have some in my cupboard, which I'm going to use for the pesto on Thursday night because I didn't buy any more. You're welcome, Lori. For the breakfast, I know I'm going to need eggs. Here's a great example of where I'm like, okay, it calls for 4 ounces of bacon, which is 4 slices. I might be like, do I want more bacon for the week? Like, is bacon something I would just cook on its own for my family? Maybe. So I might add instead of ounces. I'm so sorry. I'm always tired, you guys. I sleep so much, and I'm convinced once we get my health stuff figured out, I will stop yawning. But I know that I'm going to want more bacon than that. So I'll go to Meat and Seafood and be like, I'm going to want a pound of bacon, right? But that's one of those things where at the end of the week, you're like, wait a second, I forgot I had extra bacon, or maybe I cooked half of it and now I've got more. So what do I want to do with it, right? And that's going to be super fun that we talk about those things on Thursday night, because the last time I did this meal planning for the class, I could not believe how many bits and bobs I had left over. And I made the most outstanding food. So I can't wait to show you all of those things. We got the salad. We've got everything. So my list, like I said, since I already went today, is not that big. I just put on here to show you guys what I do. That like I literally found that I needed 8 cloves of garlic, and that wasn't even me counting everything. I really have to get this up close. But can you see my scratch, like the olive oil? I had like 5 tablespoons, then a half a cup, and then 3/4 of a cup. And with the tomatoes, I've got all of those written down. Grated Parmesan was one I had a half a cup, plus a cup, plus a 1/4 cup, plus a 1/3 of a cup, so it's a lot. A lot. So I start there. If I'm Lori, I've printed out a second copy of my list if you want, or you do this in pencil and you can erase the things there that get really unattractive looking, right? Is everybody with me so far? Because I feel like we're going to be done so soon. I don't want to rush it if people have questions. Are we good? Does anybody need to go get a drink or a snack? Oh, Laura, you're traveling? I hope you're traveling for something fun. You can come back and watch it on here. Here's what I'm going to do on Thursday. I'm going to speed cook. Tonight, before we're done, I'm going to talk about the things that I would do in advance when I get home from the grocery store. And then I'm going to have a good time showing you guys how much I can cook in 60 minutes at the beginning of a week. And we'll see how much I accomplish, and hopefully it inspires all of you to try it too. I mean, I know I cook faster probably than most, but I get very distracted when I have people here. So since I'm talking to you all and Caitlin will be here, I have a feeling I won't cook that fast. So it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be a really great time. Okay, I'm going to keep going because you all are so quiet. This is when, if you have no idea what things cost at the store, I highly, highly recommend using this cheat sheet we made you to go in and look things up. So she's got like bacon, uncured thick cut, because that's what I call for a lot. That's $8.99 a pound, right? So I literally go to my list, you guys, and I write $9 for bacon. Chicken thighs, ground beef. I didn't write any on here, but I normally need it, right? and you will need it this week. $7 a pound. So if I'm getting a pound, I just write in $7. If I'm getting 2 pounds, I'm spending $14, right? You get the gist. Now I know what most things cost. Oh my God, we should have a quiz on Thursday night to see if I really know. Like, I thought grated Parmesan, well, now that I think about it, it's $4.99 for a container. That's not the Parmigiano Reggiano, the fancy, but this is the one without like preservatives and stuff in it. It's $4.99. Green onions, $1.89 for a bunch. Dijon, $2.99, cheap. Milk, $2.89. That must have been for a smaller carton because we don't drink much of it. Romaine thyme. Most herbs are $2.99 to $3.90, $2.99 to $1.99 actually. So you go in and you fill in what you think you're going to pay for each ingredient. Okay. Scott's going to a conference in Palm Springs. Oh, that'll be fantastic, Lori. Trust me, you'll be glad you're in Palm Springs and not here, because you won't be doing dishes either. So citrus, like I said, I buy so much of it. I usually know that like a lot of times they'll have during, whether they're in season or not, it's like $1 a lemon, or it's they'll do like a bag for a certain amount of money. So I just get really used to knowing what those things cost. And then when you fill this out, $3, $5, $8, $10. I go and I total it up by department. I've literally been doing this for 20 years. And let's say I come up with $150. And that's for all of the food that I'm looking at. And let's say I wanted to spend $100, right? I have to decide, it's like a game show. What am I going to cut? What I have to decide is, do I want to spend that extra money because I know that I'm going to make enough to like freeze some things to move forward in the following week? Or do I want to try to cut what I've done? And I also ask myself, am I being realistic about how much we're eating at home, right? So there's nothing worse than planning this great meal plan and then being like, oh, I want takeout tonight. And I know I never feel like cooking on Friday nights, right? So I try to build in some of that into my meal plans, because otherwise, to think I'm going to cook 20 meals a week, out of 21, if you're doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's not realistic for me. This, however, is really realistic for me because when I have Charlie here, my son, he's here kind of more than half the time, actually. And so I cook like I said, I cook like there are 4 of us here. It's crazy because he'll eat so much. But this looks like the right amount for me. And I walk in thinking I'm going to spend around $150, right? Now, I'm not trying to cheat and say I spent less today. I was just making up a number to show you. But here are some of the other things that I do when I go into the store and I want to save money. Let's say I was like up to 150. I'm like, oh, I really should only spend 125. There are a couple things you can do. You can look for frozen vegetables or fruits that might work in something that are organic. So if you really want something organically and you can't afford the fresh version, look for the frozen. It's a lot less expensive. And they're usually closer in price to their standard siblings. I just dropped a bottle of mineral oil off my cutting board. Excuse me. All's well in the world. So I look for that. I look for specials as I'm going around. Like when I saw that chicken was on sale for $2.09 a pound instead of $3.79, I think, I bought one and I was like, I'm going to make chicken stock right now. So there's a level of flexibility that can come into your meal planning when you get to the store, right? Or if you shop online and have it delivered, they share those specials with you at the top of that as well. Another thing I've been really taking advantage of is shopping online, but picking it up at the store so you don't pay the delivery fee. With Whole Foods, they don't charge you delivery if you go pick it up. But if little sneaky people, ever since they went out on their own, they used to use Instacart, and now, they have their own drivers. They charge you $9.99 no matter what, which is a bummer. And so with Instacart, you're just paying a monthly fee that's like $9 or $10, right? And then you get all the deliveries included in that. So They found a way to charge us more for that. But basically shopping in the store or picking it up in the parking lot is the same price, right? So I appreciate that. Those are a couple of the ways that I look for to save money. So I'll look for frozen equivalents of things if I really want the ingredient, but I can't afford it fresh. Also, I mean, honestly, the generic version of things, I just want to show you guys. So this, I'm going to tell you, this is the tomato basil pasta sauce that I'm going to use for the chicken parm. And they have made such strides in pasta sauces. This does not have a ton of added sugar in it. It's got 4 grams of sugar. And they used to have like 15 to 20, you know, in some of the more popular brands. So I always check the amount of sugar. But this sauce cost, let's see. This is where I get excited. Organic, yeah, herbs are $1.79, $1.79. Garlic was 60 cents for a head of garlic. Grated Parmesan, like we said, $4.99. Oh yeah, see, I used the Kerrygold for my lemon bars, and I bought I bought a pound of Kerrygold butter, and that was $9.98. And that was added to this, so that's we spent $127. Eggs. Oh, and I didn't need all of the eggs. I needed half of them for recipe testing. So this was $3.79. Some of the more popular brands, designer brands, are up to like $10. You guys, this is delicious, delicious pasta sauce. $3.79. Most stores, I know Trader Joe's has a ton of products like this. Safeway has a ton of products, and they call white labeling it, right? So like a great company will sell it to Trader Joe's, and Trader Joe's will put their name on it. But like some of the best companies I know for foods white label to Trader Joe's, and the quality is fantastic. You're just paying a lot less to not have the packaging. So something to keep in mind, right? So yes, friends, I spent $137, but now that I know I can take $9 off for the butter, or $10, $127. And then let's look at what else. I got corn chips to go with the casserole. Let me take you through what I bought off of the shopping list, because I did have to buy a lot of like the bulk ingredients that sometimes you have plenty of. And that was not the case this week. I didn't have to buy any vinegars or spices, but I bought a big thing of olive oil. I bought a bag of corn chips to go with the Mexi skillet casserole. I had to buy a bunch of grated Parmesan. I bought 2 cups worth. I got the butter for the lemon bars. Basil, parsley, cilantro, organic heirloom tomatoes. Oh, those are cherry tomatoes that I got to go with the chicken parm. Garlic. I bought Tillamook cheddar cheese for grating. So that was $6 for 8 ounces. It's a lot less expensive. I bet it's double that for the shredded, actually, you guys. So it's a great way to save money, too. Anytime you can buy things in their whole form, it's so much less expensive. Onions, lemons, limes, cauliflower. My big head of cauliflower is $3.99. It's less expensive to eat vegetarian. The olive oil, like I said, I bought a big bottle of it, extra virgin, $10.99. Here's the one thing I want to show you about olive oil. You know, like people are like, do I need to buy organic, extra virgin? Extra virgin is, let me back up. When you're cooking with olive oil, you lose a lot of the flavor, and a lot of times you go above its smoke point. So you're losing some of the health properties as well. So there's no point in worrying if it's extra virgin or not. But what you do want to look for is this tiny label that makes me put on my glasses, and it says, tested for quality to meet International Olive Council standards, and it's North American Olive Association. Let me show it to you. It's not focusing for you, is it? So it's a little olive branch, and then it says it's part of the Olive Oil Association. You guys, they did that big documentary on the fact that olive oils were being packaged around the world, and they were like petroleum. And so that's the guarantee that you're actually consuming olive oil, and that's the most important thing to look for. You can find it on all kinds of great brands and all kinds of generic brands. So look for that for the seal of approval, okay? What else did I get that was kind of Oh, you guys, I got so much on here that I accidentally charged myself for. Sugar for the lemon bars, because we're not doing anything with sugar this week. So my groceries were less and less and less. Probably comes in closer to $100 because I had powdered sugar at $2.69, baker sugar at $7.29. That's a lot of money. Ugh. Applewood bacon, I got a half a pound. Yep. Ground beef, ground pork. And I must have stopped right there. Epsom salts, yes, that was not for, yep. So you guys, I spent closer to $100, not $137 for 7 recipes worth of food. So you can do the math and you can see how much less expensive it is to cook. And I did the chicken. I keep including the chicken, but that is not even in the recipe for this week or in the menu plan. I just made chicken stock because I know I wanted the stock to have around for some recipes because it tastes so dang good. And so I shredded chicken from that too, which I'll have in my Rachel salad. So it's kind of incredible when you take the time to check it out before you go to the store, right? And to select your recipes. Questions? More comments? Any comments? Are you asleep yet? The other thing I want to talk about before we hang up tonight is my plan of attack going into my cooking time. So Thursday night on here is going to be the time that I actually cook, and pretend that it's Sunday afternoon, right? So when I get home from the store, there are a couple things I want to do in that hour and 30 I give myself to unpack my groceries and cook some things right away. I want to make chicken stock. And the trick is too, if there are things that are easy to make right away, it's like you don't have to put things in your refrigerator only to take them out to make them again, right? Like I'll take the ingredients off the counter when I'm unpacking them, I'll make something, and then I put the rest of it in the fridge. It's so cost effective if you use what's in your pantry. Lori, it's absolutely true. So the more you build up your pantry with these ingredients that last a while, the less expensive it is, and it's just incredible. I agree with you. So when I see you guys on Thursday night, I will have already made my chicken stock. Like I said, that's not on the meal plan this week, but I want it for my tomato soup. So if you don't make stock, you could, of course, buy it, right? But just get low sodium. I always like to add salt myself to things, right? So I always opt for low sodium when I can, and then I season up. I'm going to make the chimichurri. I'm going to make the pesto. I'm going to make vinaigrette to have for my salads. I'm going to make, I'm looking at the other things that are kind of a pain in the butt to do, right? I might chop the bacon and cook it so it's crumbled already. And I might go ahead and then just cook the egg whites. And then what I would probably do is chop a bunch of things. So I chop the ingredients I know I'm going to need for, yeah, Lori, it's so true. I'm so glad that this has helped you save money in your kitchen. So I'm going to chop a bunch of things that I know I'm going to need. Like for the taco casserole, I know I need to chop onion. I know I need to chop vegetables for the soup, right? And so if I have containers that are ready to go and I can just chop, and I know that those things stay fine in the refrigerator chopped, it saves you a ton of time later in the week, right? So I'll do that. And I'll probably go ahead and make the taco casserole in its entirety that night. Another thing that takes up time, which if you have anybody who wants to help you, or they say, how can I help with dinner? This is what you can ask them to do, and I'm not kidding. When I buy beans that are already made, already canned, right? They're kind of like in their liquid and they need to be drained and rinsed. Tell them to open the cans for you and drain them and then put some water over them in a colander or a strainer, and just let someone do that for you and then put them in a bowl so that your ingredients are ready to go. Or ask someone to look at the recipe. You can put the recipe up here and say, whoever gets home first, pull out all the ingredients that we need, right? So I like doing things like that where people are motivated to help you out because they want to cook what you're eating, right? And for that matter, if they help select what you're going to be cooking for the week, you get more buy-in too. And I'm not just talking about kids. I'm talking about adults as well. Yeah, I am. I really am. Everybody likes to contribute, or have a say in it. So that's a fun way to get people involved and help save you some time. The other thing I would do typically is I would look and be like, when do I really have time to cook? Like, I'm going to make some time. I'm just going to shade my calendar. Okay. I'm pretending like, okay, on Sunday evening, if we're doing morning tonight, I'm going to cook there. And then I'm going to make breakfast muffins on Monday morning. But then I'm not going to have to make breakfast muffins again all week. Right. And then let's say, okay, we're doing cauliflower with chimichurri. I made the chimichurri. When am I going to make the cauliflower? Right. Am I going to do that at the dinner hour? I'll probably write down, okay, I'm going to do that at 5 o'clock. But just thinking about your week helps so much. Fusilli with pesto. I've already made the pesto, right? So you can say, for that night, make pasta. I might also say, make salad. And maybe that's just a green salad with some of the vinaigrette on it. It doesn't have to be a fancy salad. The chicken parm. You have to, unless you use chicken tenders, which I'll talk about as well, they're a lot more expensive. If you buy boneless, skinless chicken breasts, you have to cut them in half, and then you can pound them out to get them really thin if you want. That takes a little while, but you could like assemble your ingredients for dredging it in the egg and then the flour. And that's something I might say Wednesday morning. Oh, you know when I would do that actually? I would do that at lunchtime because I'm going to make myself a salad that day anyhow. Prep chicken parm. Eggs, pesto, sweet potatoes, that's just on the spot. Creamy tomato soup. I usually knock off early on Thursday sometimes when I'm tired, so I could probably do that Thursday afternoon. Smoothie is on the spot. And I can see these times during the week. You can see how messy I get. Where I could cook there for a lot. Quick breakfast. This, I just need to make pasta and make the salad, put some greens together with vinaigrette. Did I say I'm going to make the vinaigrette in advance? I did. Here, I'm doing just the cauliflower because I've made the chimichurri. Here, I'm going to prep the chicken parm in the morning. I'm going to make the creamy tomato soup in the afternoon when I have time. And that's how I plan it. Questions on that so far? No? So another thing to think about, which I'm in the midst of doing, if I could just walk my computer over to my fridge, I would, is that one of the most important gifts you can give yourself is to make sure that your refrigerator is cleaned out before you go to the store. There's nothing worse than getting home and opening your fridge and being like, I have nowhere to put anything. And if you don't want things to go bad, that means you have to take things out and put the newer stuff towards the back, right? So it is a hard habit to break if you're just used to shoving everything in, but I implore you to do it in advance and take 15 minutes before you go to the store to take everything out. Right now, because I've been recipe testing, I have so many little things in big containers that are just barely left over, like a black bean soup, a Mexican tortilla soup. I had cream of broccoli soup in there. I've got like a little bit of peanut dressing that I worked on. I've got all of these random things that we're not going to eat or that I'm going to like heat up tonight and eat and be done with. And so getting all of that out, wiping your fridge down, let me tell you, the more you do it, the less you'll have to do it because once you get some of the rotten stuff out and the old stuff, you'll just be more aware of not replacing it all the time. And knowing that you have it on hand in the first place. So that's a lot of it. And then I take, if there are any storage containers that I use a lot, I'll rinse them out, right? And get rid of the food that was in them. And then I'll run the dishwasher so that when I get home, the dishes I want to use, the storage equipment is clean and ready to go, right? It's the biggest gift you can give yourself. It's like picking out your outfit the night before and you wake up and you're like, oh. Or if you're going to go to the gym in the morning, having your gym bag ready to go, right? It's that kind of thing, but on a bigger level. And so if there's one thing you do maybe before Thursday or before the day of the week you're really going to cook, I would encourage you to get anything out of your fridge that's gone bad or that you know you're not going to use. Get rid of it. Compost it if you can. Terrific. Dispose of it if not. And rinse and wash those containers so you have nothing else to do when you get home except load the groceries in and get cooking. Sound good? Wow, I can talk a lot. An hour and 20 minutes. That's a lot of talking with 5 of us live. Questions? Comments? I'm so excited to do this menu with you. Good ideas. Good, Anita. I'm so glad. On Thursday night, we'll be picking, you all get a free pair of OXO tongs, which I'm so excited about. They are right here. Now, these are the smaller version, but Caitlin will be reaching out to send you your tongs. They have to send them to me, and then we're shipping them out. So she'll get your address if she doesn't have it yet. So everybody gets a pair of these, but these are the 9-inch, I want to say, and you get the 12.5-inch, which I use for everything. And then we'll be picking our 3 prize winners for the big prizes for people who signed up on Thursday night. We'll be announcing those too, okay? So I love doing this with you. I hope you, if you have more questions to bring to me on Thursday night, you will. And Diana, I'm so glad, and I'm glad you're doing okay. Thursday night is the last class I'm teaching before I have to go have some surgery. So I'm looking forward to it because I love connecting with you all right here. So thank you for hanging out with me. Think of those questions. Get ready to ask them Thursday night if you have them. And I am going to start out by prepping anything that's come in the door that I'd prep immediately from coming into the grocery. And then I'm going to give myself a solid 60 minutes to cook for you. Caitlin will be here to move the camera around. And then I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about what you can do with leftovers and extra ingredients so nothing goes to waste, and how to store those things in your freezer or fridge so you get the most out of them, okay? Thank you for hanging out. Yay, Lori, I'm so glad. And like I said, most of these are going in the book, so we've tested them, and you get to be the first to try them, so it's super fun, right? Okay, everybody have a delightful evening. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you very soon, okay? Bye. There's this little button, and I always forget where to end it. Okay, there it goes.